Hello, and welcome to Considering Linux, Part 1. With all the news about Windows 10 support ending and computers that won't support Windows 11, along with stories about increased reliance on AI and telemetry in Windows 11 itself, it's easy enough for some to suggest that Windows users should just make the leap and move to Linux. I understand the indecision of those who aren't quite sure. I decided to create some videos that may help those who are considering an alternative to Windows. Linux won't work for some people. If you're someone who depends on proprietary software like Photoshop, Quicken, or something else that does not have a version specifically created for Linux, you may feel you cannot leave Windows. There are some programs in Linux that are close to many proprietary programs, but they do come with a learning curve, and you may not want to devote the time needed to learn them. You probably don't want to leave Windows, and that's okay. You should just go ahead and bite whatever bullet is necessary to continue with Windows. If 90% of what you do is online, checking email, watching YouTube videos, surfing the web, you should have no problem switching over to Linux. I'm led to understand that gaming is also an up-and-coming feature on Linux, but I wouldn't know about that. If you own a computer that Microsoft claims won't work with Windows 11, and especially if you've already bought another computer with Windows 11 on it, you're a prime candidate to try Linux out on the older computer. You've got nothing to lose. Sadly, many people will just discard their old working computers, which may end up in the landfills as e-waste. Rather than junk that old computer, why not just take it and try out Linux? You may find that you prefer it. If you have only one computer with Windows 10 on it and it can't be upgraded to Windows 11, you can try Linux without disturbing the present Windows 10 install, and maybe forego the expense of a new computer with Windows 11 on it. After trying Linux, you can make the decision as to whether or not you want to replace the Windows 10 with Linux. This is the main thrust of my videos. I hope I don't put you to sleep with this next part, but I consider this important to understanding more about how someone interacts with computers. A Linux distribution, often shortened to distro, is a packaged version of Linux that comes with the Linux kernel plus a collection of software and utilities that make the operating system functional and somewhat user-friendly. 5 examples of Linux distros are Debian, Arch, Slackware, Red Hat Fedora, and Gentoo. Each distribution has a specific way of doing things, how programs are downloaded and installed, for example. I will concentrate on Debian. The desktop environment, or sometimes called the DE, is the layer at which most users interact with their operating system. The Windows desktop is generally referred to as the Windows shell. The desktop for Mac OS is called Aqua. In Linux, there is a large assortment of desktops to choose from. Many of the derivatives are set up with a distinct desktop that has been fine-tuned for that derivative. This distinguishes them from other derivatives. Among the desktops are Budgie, Cinnamon, DPen, Enlightenment, GNOME, LXDE, LXQT, Mate, KDE Plasma, Trinity, XFCE, and many others. Each has its own way of displaying things with distinct tools for accomplishing tasks. This doesn't even include the layers called window managers, which are an entirely different subject. To make things simple, I'll just refer to everything as a distro. One site for tracking the popularity of each, distrowatch.com, calls them all distros, so I will too. This is a screenshot of the first 40 listed in order of popularity. DistroWatch's complete list shows 385 in all, which is quite a selection, but can be confusing to those new to Linux. Because this video is aimed at those considering a replacement for Windows, I'll concentrate on those distros, that at least in some ways resemble the Windows shell. It is important to making a selection to see what each one looks like and to get a feel for how they work. I'll present a short look at each in action. All are based on Debian or Ubuntu. They will be Debian running the KDE Plasma desktop, Q4OS running the Trinity desktop, Linux Mint Debian Edition running the Cinnamon desktop, and Zorin OS running the GNOME desktop. In an upcoming video, I'll delve into how to try these out on your machine without disturbing your Windows installation, so you can see for yourself if one of them fits you and your uses without having to take the ultimate dive of installing the distro. As you watch the videos of the distros in action, keep in mind that many of the display features you see can be changed. In other words, if you watch the Linux Mint video, you might be attracted to the way it operates, but may decide that you don't like the wallpaper, or the style of the Windows decorations, or the icons as they're shown. I have not made many, if any, changes to the way the distro looks out of the box, but these things can be changed if you wish. Personally, I don't care for the dark appearance of the wallpapers, the dark title borders, the style of the icons, etc., and would change them if I ever installed in many of these distros. But that's just my personal taste. Besides, I've read that this darkness is highly popular among many today. The availability of these changes can be seen as a blessing or as a curse. Some think that there are entirely too many options for customization available in Linux distros, especially those people coming from Windows, because all of these options can confuse people. Microsoft has convinced some that they should just be happy with whatever options they're given. Others see these options as an opportunity to make the computer theirs. First up is Debian. The project was begun in 1993 by Ian Murdoch and was named with a portmanteau of Deborah, his girlfriend at the time, and Ian. Debian is the base for many other distros. By one count, there are over 70 other distros based on Debian. This is Debian running the KDE Plasma desktop. Plasma offers some of the look and feel of Windows. It can be a bit heavy and demanding on resources, that is, memory and CPU. Here's the KDE Plasma desktop running on Debian. On the left-hand side of the panel, you have a set of icons that clicking on them will take you to various programs. The farthest to the left is the menu. You can list all the applications available on the computer in alphabetical order, or they're divided into categories. A help center, all of the programs associated with the internet, the Firefox ESR is the web browser. Multimedia, you get a video player and a music player. Under Office, there is the LibreOffice suite, which is sometimes touted as a drop-in replacement for Microsoft Office. Your presentations, spreadsheets, and LibreOffice Writer is a substitute for Microsoft Word. The group of programs for managing the system itself, and utilities. There's a calculator. There's a program to find files and folders, screen magnification, control your mouse, speech synthesis. Kwrite is similar to Notepad. Kate is more advanced. And across the bottom of the menu window, there are various controls for restarting or shutting down the system. Click Shutdown. It'll automatically shut down in 30 seconds unless you click Cancel. On the right-hand side, you've got a clipboard, volume control, internet controls, and time and date. You click on it and you get a calendar. And this is the KDE Plasma desktop. In the next video, we'll look at some more distros in action. This is the end of part 1. I'll put a link in the description for the next part. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and thanks to these open source projects for helping me make this video.